From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Liam Elder Connors. It's Friday, May 23rd, and here are today's headlines. Vermont's unemployment rate rose in April. The seasonally adjusted statewide unemployment rate for the last month was 2.7%, according to the Department of Labor. That's a 0.1% increase from the previous month. The department says this change is driven by the number of older Vermonters retiring, people leaving for better career opportunities, and young Vermonters entering the workforce. Chittenden County had the state's lowest unemployment rate at 2.1%, while Orleans County held the state's highest rate at 5.1%. The advocacy group Migrant Justice says federal immigration authorities arrested at least 4 people on their way home from their landscaping jobs in Vermont. That's as 2 members of Vermont's immigrant farm worker community were recently granted release on bond from detention. Will Lambeck is spokesperson for Migrant Justice.
So we celebrate these victories, and at the same time, we know that this is a deeply unjust system that continues to criminalize, detain, and deport immigrants on a mass scale.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection confirmed the arrests on Thursday. In a statement, the agency said Border Patrol agents encountered 4 citizens of Peru about 5 miles south of the U.S.-Canada border. The individuals could not provide proof of legal immigration status and were later determined to have entered the country illegally, according to CBP. The 4 individuals were processed for removal proceedings and turned over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. An investigation into a plane crash in Manchester this winter determined the accident was caused by a, quote, improper decision made by the pilot. The report found in late April the pilot opted to continue flying through poor weather conditions despite being aware of his flight path's poor visibility conditions before liftoff. During the flight, the pilot dealt with a decrease in power and ice forming on the plane before it eventually stalled twice and spun out. The plane then crashed into trees near the peak of Mount Equinox. The pilot and passengers sustained minor injuries. And thousands of runners will gather in Burlington this Sunday for the Vermont City Marathon and Relay. The marathon's a beloved tradition for many Vermonters, including Emily Halnan. She lives in Oregon, but she grew up in Lincoln, Vermont. Her mother, Andrea Halnan, ran the Vermont City Marathon when she turned 50. It was one of her many accomplishments before she died at 66 of cancer. Earlier this week on Vermont Edition, Emily Halnan spoke about what the marathon means to her family.
We all ran bits of it together. One year I ran the full marathon while my mom and brother ran the relay together. And so we all got to, have a big Howland party all over the marathon course. And so I think it's just a really beautiful display of humans doing something really awesome and incredible.
Emily Halnan is one of Vermont City Marathon's featured speakers this year. Coming up, a young Vermonter debates whether to leave the state after graduation. And we hear a dispatch from the annual state surplus auction. That's coming up after this. It's graduation season, and some young Vermonters are wondering, should I stay or should I go? Lucia McCallum is one of them. She grew up in Cabot, and she just graduated from the University of Vermont. She loves this state, but wonders if it makes sense for her to stay. Lucia returned to her hometown to get some advice. She picks up the story from here.
Harry's Hardware is a hub in Cabot. Part hardware store, part bar.
G on the mind. Okay. Well, can someone else name something in D?
People come here for community. I came for answers.
You dance?
Sometimes.
We might forward on.
Larry Simpson's lived in Vermont basically his whole life. He's a regular here at the Sunday jam sessions.
This music's in my soul.
I told him about my dilemma. Cabot feels like home, but my options here as a 21-year-old with an English degree seem limited. Like many young Vermonters, I'm considering leaving the state.
You'll have to make that decision for yourself,
I know it's a privilege to have this choice, but still, I'm torn. I asked Simpson what to do.
You don't get anywhere without talking.
So I started talking. My first conversation was with my best friend and fellow Cabosian, Mia Preston. Mia and I both really love where we're from.
I think the older I get, the more I feel like I'm going to have a really hard time leaving Vermont.
But there are some undeniable truths about returning to Cabot as a young person.
How do I put this? Everyone's old.
Mia's right. Vermont has one of the oldest populations in the country. And one of the main reasons I've seen people leave my hometown is, quite frankly, loneliness.
I thrive with people my own age, and I don't really see that much here.
I asked some of the regulars what they did when they were our age. Like many people I grew up with, a few said that they were itching to get out.
I left Vermont 4 days after I graduated from high school.
Alana Flynn is originally from Benson. She
Got on a train and I went to Columbus, Ohio, where my oldest brother lived. And then I toured with him and his band back to the East Coast and up back to New England, selling merchandise for him. So that was my life at 17.
Others always knew they wanted to return to Vermont, even if they left temporarily. Kenny Goki has lived in Cabot his whole life, but left when he was 17 to join the military.
I went to high school, and then my dad passed away when I was just a freshman. So I ended up quitting school and went to work in a granite shed when I was 17 years old. And then Uncle Sam wanted me, so I joined the military.
Talking with people, I heard a common thread, an undeniable feeling that Cabot is home. Seth O'Brien grew up here and left for college.
I graduated from Cabot and had a small class and decided I wanted to see something bigger, so went to New York and then decided that was too big and too busy and made my way back.
He started a computer shop under the Cabot Village store and now hosts Magic the Gathering sessions at Harry's on Wednesdays. Alana Flynn, who left the state at 17, also came back. She moved to Cabot to be a bartender at Harry's 6 years ago. She doesn't work here anymore, but still lives in town.
So many Vermonters that I've talked to over the years, they'll tell you the same thing. It's like, you come back for the people more than anything. Like, there are beautiful places all around the country that you could live, but the community and the camaraderie of Vermonters is something that you don't find everywhere.
Larry told me to talk, and I'm all for it, but I kind of wish someone would just tell me what to do. Kenny Goki did. He told me to stay.
If you're a true Vermonter and you've lived here all your life, well, it's like home, you know?
But others told me there's something to be said for leaving. Here's Flynn again.
I think that you've got to leave for some period of time, whatever that looks like. I mean, maybe not everybody feels that way, but I feel like you have to know what else is out there to be certain about where you want to be.
Unlike me, some young Vermonters already know what they want. High school senior Kian Knott plans to live in Cabot with his girlfriend after they graduate and take a cross-country trip this summer.
I mean, where I go to school, there's definitely a lot of people who can't wait to get out of here. But for some people, Vermont's the perfect place for a quiet, happy lifestyle. You can really do whatever your heart desires.
After Harry's, Mia and I decided to go to a place in town that's sacred to us.
We were driving up Cabot Plains Road to go sit by the covered bridge and enjoy a beautiful sunset.
I'm moving into a new apartment in Burlington for the summer, and I don't know when I'll be living in Cabot again. But for this moment, I'm enjoying being home. For the University of Vermont Community News Service, I'm Lucia McCallum.
And now we turn to an annual event here in the Green Mountain State. And it's the place you go if you're in the market for a game warden's ATV or a big orange plow truck. You get all that stuff at the state surplus auction. Once a year, Vermont raises hundreds of thousands of dollars by selling off its old equipment. People travel from all over Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, even Canada, and they all stand in a parking lot next to a state garage in Berlin for the auction. Vermont Public's April McCollum met up with some people looking for a deal at this year's event.
It's just before the auction on a cold, rainy morning. There are lots of people here early to check out what's for sale. Like this old fuel truck, or a park ranger's rowboat that might not float. Maybe you need a plow truck that won't start, or a Mount Philo State Park leaf blower. Everything's a treasure for someone.
Decent deals are to be had here, just depends on what level of work you're willing to put in.
The DMV Cruisers have always been excellent trucks. I've had 3 of those in the past.
Oh, this is tradition for us. And today we're looking for, there's a little auto crane there. It's a more lift crane, right, to put on my surface truck.
That was Dylan Putvane of North Troy, Tom Doan of South Burlington, and Mike Gilmet of Shelburne. Tim Frazier of East Montpelier has a landscaping business. He used to come to this auction every year, and then he says he saw too many out-of-staters winning. He swore he wasn't coming back. And then...
I did, just because, I don't know, it was pouring, raining, and can't work, so...
Up next, lot number 8.
This is the auctioneer, R.J. Klisowitz, wearing a cowboy hat and running the show from inside a red, white, and blue truck.
Nowadays, we don't do many live auctions, so I don't necessarily get to do the talking fast aspect anymore. So I personally enjoy coming up here once a year and getting to have a little fun.
Someone drives Klisowitz around the parking lot as the auction progresses, moving to each new item.
Drew, give me $100 to go. One I have, 125 where? 125, 125, and 125, 150, 150, 150, 175, 175, 175, and 2,
By mid-afternoon, everything's been auctioned off, except one truck hood that no one wanted. One of the last trucks went to Mike Luciavo. He plans to expand his landscaping business in Waterbury.
We got a 2015 Chevy Silverado, which is going to be an amazing gardening truck. So we just were like, all right, let's get patient, be as calm and as cool. And yeah, we just pulled the trigger and got what we set $10,000 as our limit. We got it.
Luciavo paid just $8,500. He and dozens of other buyers head for the gate with their items, the ones that can roll away, at least. For Vermont Public, I'm April McCullum.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Elodie Reed, Adia Golston, and Michaela Lafrac. Today's episode was edited by Mark Davis and produced by me, Liam Elder Connors. Our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Planet Money helps you understand the economy. We find the people at the center of the story.
Garbage in New York, that was like a controlled substance.
We show you how money influences everything.
Tell me what you like by telling me how you spend your money.
And we dig until we get answers.
I had a bad feeling you were going to bring that up.
Planet Money finds out. All you have to do is listen. The Planet Money Podcast from NPR.